So, this video got a strike. And I always noticed that YouTube never likes when I tell the truth about certain things. And it's always funny when videos I make get strikes because I don't even get views. That's what's always funny to me when I get strikes for any truth exposing video. Well, honestly, all this is truth exposing, really. Just as I started to piece together more so the cash kid system is ended. I came in here because this was like more quiet than where I was before, but obviously it doesn't make a difference. So it says all this. It was pretty dumb for me to make this the title. I already know there's a lot of words that you can't even say, and that censorship and all that is cracked down so much since 2016. But hopefully I even have enough space to screen record all this.
Okay, so for my second
I don't have the video saved anywhere. Because I don't really do that thing I used to do back when this was really about the evidence videos where I would try to save stuff. I mean, like I've been said, I don't even have space on any emails anymore for any of that to be saving videos.
This video is going to be about how people say stuff like
Autism comes from syringes.
And how people say that people are faking illnesses because of social media, or that people are faking mental illnesses on social media, like TikTok. So I'm just going to be going over all of that. I've made a video about the whole TikTok thing before, but I don't even remember what channel that was on, so I may not even have that video uploaded anywhere anymore. If anybody remembers that whole 23-22 situation that led up to 228-22. I'm not even about to go back into that since that's not what this video is about. But if anybody here remembers it, that's why I probably don't even have that video anymore. And also, I want to say that this isn't to say that it's not true that
Syringes
can cause things like autism, because I already know that like the food and stuff and all that causes a lot of issues that sometimes take a while to show up. Like I think it could take till the third generation or something like that. It was something like that. I don't really remember. But I want to put out the full truth because really
syringes.
I'm not saying it's never true, but I feel like it's kind of more mess to cover up the real issue with all this label stuff. And by label stuff, I mean mental label stuff. Even though autism isn't really a mental illness, but the thing is, if you get around mental health professionals, they're going to treat you just as bad for the autism label as they would for any other label. But I'm not about to go into that. Okay, so I hear a lot of people saying these things these days, and honestly, the first one can be true sometimes, but if people weren't so brainwashed about what the mental health system actually is and was made for, diagnosis statistics for autism aren't going up because of
syringes.
It's going up because psychiatrists trying to pathologize the fact all people are wired different. Some are even wired to be empathic / annointed or prophetic people. Although that doesn't really just have something to do with autism. The prophetic person thing could really, usually they end up going through a lot of trauma anyway, so you can end up with a lot of different labels. Even just from your trauma you go through, you could end up with CPTSD or something. So it's not just for autism, but I do feel like the different wirings people have, especially when it comes to this
I had to go somewhere more quiet.
neurodivergence mess that is becoming a marketing strategy. I feel like a lot of it has something to do with that, because it does. And so psychiatrists are trying to pathologize that, and just the fact that people are different in general. And then it's like, for the people that do realize this, they get told that it's just magical thinking or whatever. Because it's also this thing with mental health professionals where they don't want you to heal through your trauma and realize your true purpose. They just want you to accept a label from them for something you probably don't even have, or even if you do have it, it's from trauma. And then they want you to stay in this victim complex mindset where you don't get better. You just act like you were born with whatever issue and there's nothing you can do about it. And it's already a known fact that once somebody accepts a label, they actually get worse because then they really start to try to fit all the symptoms. So, like, I'm trying to think of an example. Somebody gets labeled with I'll just say BPD for the example, because that's the only thing that's really coming to mind right now. Somebody gets labeled with BPD, and then they start trying to force everybody they meet into some type of codependent relationship. And I know that that's kind of a bad example, but I mean, that's the only thing that I can think of. So as soon as they get labeled with BPD, they start trying to fit the symptoms, and so now they're going out of their way to be codependent and all that. Probably could have thought of something better, but yeah. So anywho, okay, where was I last at? The fact that all people are wired different. Oh no, I already finished that whole sentence. Psychiatrists are trying to pathologize the fact some people are, I spelled it all wrong, empathic and still have natural affection for others. Because one of the things that they commonly throw up with autism is the fact that they have a lot of empathy and all that, which is really, really funny because they've changed what autism is back and forth, which actually, I think I wrote that down on here, but it's like, they throw up the fact that people with the autism label who accept the label can barely work jobs, certain jobs at least, because of their morals they have. So, like, if they have a job where they have to throw away food at the end of the day, they don't want to work that job because they know there's people out there that don't have anything to eat. And so it's like, it all goes along with this abuse agenda to mess people up and have a world of messed up, broken people that don't care about anybody else but theirself. Because this is basically saying that having emotions and morals isn't normal, and anybody that still has morals and doesn't agree with crazy, messed up stuff has some type of mental issue or quote unquote neurological issue, which there's a lot I can say about that. And it all just, if you really think about it, if you have the ability to actually see stuff for what it is, you'll really get how much of a mess all of this mental label stuff is. Not even just the mental label stuff, just the entire Cash for Kids system in general. Because the thing is, the Cash for Kids system does go into adulthood, not just with all the trauma and weird philosophies that it leaves you with, but it's like, it also makes you feel like, for whatever reason, people still come out of all of these abuse systems feeling like they have to serve the system and live this little American dream life and all that. And so it's like, it's hard to explain, but it's really, somebody just walked behind my tent and they're walking really loud too. But it sounds like they walked away now. But anywho, to get back on topic, okay. Psychiatrists are, dang, where was I? Oh yeah, that is where I was. Psychiatrists are trying to pathologize the fact some people are empathic and still have natural affection for others, which is funny because mental health professionals went from saying people with autism are quote unquote retarded or quote unquote incompetent to bad. Then they started saying sociopathic. Why did I spell all this stuff crazy? It's like there's no H after the T in sociopathic or empathic. But anyway, and or narcissistic, to now empathic, highly intelligent, and struggling with social interactions. So with that right there, you can just see how wishy-washy and what was the other word? Biased the mental health system is. Which, I mean, that's been an issue from the beginning with the fact that the mental health system was made for what it was made for. Because it was always about covering up trauma. Well, it was always about covering up a lot of things, to be honest, but covering up trauma and then eugenics. And so another thing with a lot of people getting diagnosed with autism these days is that at one point it was really sexist, so only boys got diagnosed, and so now more girls are being diagnosed, and now there's a whole bunch of people who are being diagnosed in their 50s and stuff. So yeah, anyway, the different biases also made it really weird. And just like with any other label, doctors can't make up their mind about what autism is and what's supposed to be so bad and wrong about it. Autism is also another racial and abuse cover-up diagnosis. Funny enough, most of the quote-unquote bad symptoms that are blamed on autism come from trauma. This is why psychology is now talking about traumatized and non-traumatized autism. Due to the autism, hold up. I'm just going to say due to the fact, because I think that's what I meant. Due to the fact autism isn't an actual disability, and like other labels, it has no real test. It's easy for psychiatrists to convince people to take on the autism label. It's a known fact that people get worse to try to fit symptoms and diagnosis criteria of the label psychiatrists told them they have, because I don't like how I wrote that either. This is the same thing that's happening for people faking disorders on social media. And that's really what I think, because people don't really get how people just believe these doctors, which I'm about to go into. So it makes sense that people will get on social media saying that they have something because the doctor told them they have it, but other people, especially other people with the actual label that accept the label and actually do show symptoms, will be like, you're just faking it. But the person may really have believed the doctor, and there's a lot I can say about that. Okay, so I've met adults who have went along with obviously wrong diagnosis and almost died from the psychotropics because they have a doctor knows best mentality. More of a reason why people shouldn't just trust these pseudoscience professionals. You should always know yourself and your symptoms better than anyone, or else you'll be another gaslit money scheme statistic, even though you have rights to say no and fight back at 18 plus. Okay, so also someone under 18 gets nothing out of faking a mental illness. A label would just make a kid or teen easier to abuse, get drugged on neurotoxin pills, and be treated funny. Honestly, I should have said be treated terrible instead of funny. Someone under 18 can't even claim their own SSI/disability money. So yeah, that's all I had to say about that.